that. And they're all social. They learn how to move, so they don't exercise, they move. They eat less meat, so they're not meat less, they just eat less meat. They're more vegetable orientated, they're more social orientated, they have a purpose in life overall. They elderly play a role in the population. And it's not, his first book talked, and he really thought it was people that were not driven to be successful as far as collecting money, but people that were driven to collect relationships, meaning, we're deep with that. So we know that in Japan, Okinawa, Japan, some of the longest living people in the world, they're functional at 100. Then we have people in Sicily, in a part of Sicily, some of the longest living people. We have the Seventh-day Adventists in California, some of the longest living people functional. A cardiologist at 90 still doing cardiology surgeries and still being really functional. Then we went around and said, okay, we have Costa Rica, and Costa Rica really is a society that says we spend much more time socializing with each other, much less time earning money. They've just revolutionized their healthcare system. They spend 17 times less than we spend on healthcare, and they're twice as healthy as we are. They go around to communities and they ask them about their behavior. So if they visit people in their home, they don't do healthcare in the hospitals as much. And if they notice that their food, their refrigerator, they talk to them about how to change their behavior. So we have Costa Rica, where the cost of what you make is very low, but your social environment is very high. Then they went to the Scandinavian countries, and it was like, well, they have high, so maybe it's because everybody's okay. We have a big social net, and so everybody's provided for, so education and that. Well, then we went to Singapore, which has some of the happiest people in the world also, and do well. And Singapore is one of the most developed, really, really high-income societies of all of Asia. But the common link was our relationships between all the societies. In Costa Rica, not so concerned about the income, but very concerned about relationships. In Norway, very concerned about relationship. In Singapore, very concerned about relationship. So we all kind of have our viewpoints in that, oh, we need to have this, but it's the relationships that we need to have. The healthiest people in the world have relationships, and they learn how to have relationships in those societies as far as it goes. So again, I love the Blue Zone. I laugh when you look at a Blue Zone. There's 9 of them. I put them up in my clinic. Everybody comes in. Number 6 is drinking wine, and like all the other ones, they don't notice in that. But they don't drink wine to drink wine. They drink wine because they get together. No one drinks by themselves. So again, our social relationships. I'm just going to end. When you go through the speakers, one of the seminal studies in the whole world right now is called the Harvard study. Then it's over 75 years old now, but they took a whole bunch of people of different ethnic backgrounds, different income backgrounds, different parts of the Boston area. Everything divergent, followed them for 75 years. 3 sets of researchers they outlived, this study did. And what did they find? It was people that had the most deep relationships are the people that did the best in the world. So again, unless we're doing well, unless we're making relationships, it really doesn't matter. Nothing else matters. And if we don't have relationships that make us feel safe, we're not going to eat better, we're not going to exercise better. And so us as doctors, and as they talk today, I think the thing that we hope, and maybe you hope, and again, we're going to do more and more talks, but before you make a change that you're going to exercise or ice or whatever, if you aren't taking care of yourself, you really have to think about, why am I not taking care of myself? Like, what is behind it? Like, I know I should walk, I know I should ice, I know I should take care of myself. I know that, again, as doctors, well, every time I sit on the couch, I can hardly get up and my back really bothers me. But wouldn't you think you would sit on the couch? Like, wouldn't you sit somewhere else? Like, how does that happen? Like, well, I'm just comfortable. Well, there's something that makes no sense to me. I'm comfortable on the couch, but I sit on the couch. I like my lazy boy, but I get sore when I sit in it. Like, somewhere we have to decide. And then, and I don't know if I had the slide on here or not, but, my last slide, is that we have to have why power. There's no such thing as willpower. Willpower gets me excited. I go to a class, somebody talks about eating different, and so I do the paleo diet, or I do something, and I throw everything out of my house, and 2 weeks later, I'm miserable, and I buy it all back, and I make the store lots of money, and that. why power is, why do I want to be healthier? Why do I want to do better? Why power is what we need to do, but willpower will never get me anywhere. There's none. In fact, willpower is so fragile that if you hit your snooze alarm more than 3 times in the morning, you've just lost about 50% of your willpower. And so now I eat a little bit better breakfast, and I've lost some willpower of that. And I take care of myself to 6 o'clock. I've run out of willpower, and 80% of our calories we eat in the United States, we eat from 6 o'clock to when we go to bed. Because we've run out of willpower. Like, we cannot survive on willpower. Nobody can survive on willpower. An athlete doesn't work out because of willpower. It's why power. Why do you want to? So for me, I see so many kids have to take care of parents, and the last thing I ever want is my kids to have to take care of me. Honestly, it'd be the saddest day of my life if my kids have to disrupt their prime of life to take care of me. I do not want that in any which way. So it helps govern my eating habits, helps govern my thinking habits, helps to govern my movement habits, because again, the last thing I want. So my why is I want my kids not to take care of me, and I truly would love, when I have grandkids one of these days, I want to have them have a great experience. I don't want to be the grandpa that they sit and watch TV with. I want to be a grandpa that we go to Iceland and like we see cool stuff. I mean, that's my why power. So that's what makes a difference in that. So I'm going to thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. I'm going to ask you to, if you like what you heard and you like what you heard tonight, honestly share it with people. And if you leave one thing, think about 7 to 1. That's 7 positive interactions to 1 negative one. With your children, with your spouses, with your workers, 7 to 1. It changes everything in that. So I thank you for your time. Dr. Aaron's going to come up right now, and again, he's going to talk to you about injuries and talk to you about nutrition injuries.